Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to the Slowest WAAAGH, where we are playing Tzeentch. It's turn 21. Let's see what we got in the bag. We have completed Enchantment 3 on our run up to Enchantment 5. Bunch of side searching. Dark Knowledge found nothing. Augury found nothing. The End of the Rainbow found a Song of Birds. So, plus one more glamour. We're getting decent on glamour. Haruspex found a Grove of Fertility. Fantastic. We want that. Our nature income was not high. We were running into some issues. Arcane Probing found nothing. We've gotten fairly unlucky on the Arcane Probing, unfortunately. We're still sitting at only 2, and I'm pretty sure that's straight out of... Yeah, that's just out of our fucking cap. So, that's pretty unfortunate. I don't like that. And we also did a Summon Griffins. I didn't talk about this last turn. I will talk about it more this turn. Forgot to talk about it. I don't know if I actually had it saved on the turn file. That might have been why I didn't talk about it, but we'll cover it this turn. We've got some battles to watch between Naggarond and Nehekara, actually. We missed any battles between Middenheim and Bono's tribe, so that's kind of interesting. So this is a funny little raiding party, probably just trying to catch and see if there's like 1 PD here or something like that, or maybe 6, right? These Lustrian Cold Ones, pretty good. High HP, multiple claw attacks, right? Feral Cold One, similar type of situation. I assume they're led in the same squad with the Sea Dogs. Sea Dogs are slower, so they're going to get into combat later. But they're also... Yeah, they're also an anchor, probably an HP and a morale anchor for the Lustrian Cold Ones. So that's kind of an interesting deal. I might be misreading that, but I think it's a pretty clever way to raid. And then the actual leaders are just some people hanging out with some war slaves. The issue is these two boys. Spear Chariots, they do have trample. So let's see how this plays out. Squish, squish. They're in the side. Squish, squish, squish. And Naggarond is routed. Unfortunate. I do love that chariots, when they pop, they just explode into a spear crew. It's pretty fantastic. But yeah, that's a problem. Chariots be squishing things. Hey, it did get popped though. Interesting. So Naggarond loses basically the vast majority of this. Not really something that I think they care about an extremely large amount. But a little frustrating that it gets popped by just 2 spear chariots getting parked there. Because otherwise, it would have done probably just fine against this group, you know? And then Naggarond also attacks Nehekara and Neefel with a more typical grouping. Some Dark Shards and some Black Ark Corsairs, as well as some Shades. So the repeater crossbows are really cool on Naggarond. Like those a lot. They're up against just some barbarians. Also some dread spears in here. Cool. Yeah, lose a single dread spear. Take a decently PD'd location, probably like 10 or something like that. Yeah, good. Very nice. Couple of events. Unexpected event in Sirmiok. Unrest +6. That's not great. We have 8 secrets left to unlock. Unexpected event in Silver Woods. We gain 20 income. Love income events, especially early on in the game, because they're going to pay dividends so much into the game. Got some air gems in Traveler's Rest. Nice. Worldwide event has occurred. An ill moon rises. Unrest everywhere. That's not great for us. That's not great for us because we are locked in on turmoil, baby, which means we don't naturally decrease our unrest with like order scales or anything like that. So that's really painful. We're gonna have to move around and try to deal with that. Religious misconceptions and falsehoods continue in Umpholia. We had a Marauder Scout discovered in Faircliff. Again, he's just patrolling there. Hurts me. And then we discovered those fucking heretics in Umpholia. Hell yeah, kill them. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Get them. Burn the heretics. Let none survive. Okay, the false prophet got out of there. But anyways, we rooted out the heretics in Umpholia. Great, fantastic. And we did a bunch of patrolling in a number of locations. We can see there's not a lot of unrest, but we do have unrest in a few locations here or there. We're going to have to patrol that out as we kind of like move forward, but we're going to try to prioritize things where we can, when we can. So, we didn't get any gold events this turn, and our income is starting to hurt a little bit. Things like the... Where are they at? Things like the large amount of Chaos Warriors are pretty pricey in the long run. Who would have thought? Things like a shit ton of Marauder Horse Archers are decently pricey. Even a small amount of Chosen Warriors, still pricey. So we are kind of starting to feel a little bit pinched on what we're doing. Obviously, we're going to scale well, but part of the issue of playing a scales-ish Chaos Nation is, again, being locked into turmoil. You can't take that order situation, so your scales just aren't going to be as good as they otherwise would be. You're gonna miss, 10 to 15% income, which really makes a fucking difference. And it starts to get a little painful. That being said, we're going to try to fix that in the very near future by taking some more land. So, Acolytes start in Balcoria. Acolytes continue in Sermiok, as well as, again, we're trying for that little small Chaos Knight squadron. In Tzeentch, more Acolytes, more Chosen Warriors to pad out the overall army that we're forming. We are still patrolling in Umpholia. Primarily, this should be gone. I think it'll be gone next turn. But primarily, we're just patrolling to see if we can catch scouts, because we're not doing anything else right now. So, just going to try to catch some scouts, move on from there. The Adepta Pure Phlegaton will be done next turn, getting some more Marauder Horse Archers, some more Chaos Warhounds. Nothing going on in Cormark. And then over here, we just didn't have the... Oh, right, we're dropping a temple in Namor, and that blew out the rest of our fucking money. Because, basically, we would have had 600 more to do things like more Horse Archers, etc., etc., but I made the choice that we really want to try to get temples up in some places. I kind of want to get more temples up in my Heartlands so that we can spread our dominion more, right? Speaking of spreading our dominion more, our prophet will make it to Cormark next turn, or this coming turn. Be able to claim the Throne of Guile. We'll get some more Dominion spread, and we will get the Growth +2, which will fix our current growth issue that we are actively having at the moment. So I think that's pretty much it. It's kind of a quick scenario, but we just didn't get that many battles this turn, which is kind of interesting because I tried to move people around to see some fights, but we just didn't catch any. Maybe a slow turn for the war between Middenheim and Bone Nose. I'm hoping that there hasn't been some sort of like peace between them. We really don't want Middenheim to have the opportunity to relax or try to build up forces or try to tech up. We know he has Alt 4 and has had Alt 4 for a while because he's been doing Alt 4s because he's been doing Group Barkskin. But I don't know if he has much more than that. I'm actually really curious as to whether or not he had maybe like an awake expander, not expander, awake researcher, because he's kind of got. I say that. Yeah, he has unholy weapons, so I'm guessing either an awake researcher or a dormant researcher, maybe a dormant titan though. So I'm really, really interested in that whole situation. This is also something that I have been thinking about but haven't talked about, and it's another reason to go so hard into Marauder Horse Archers and Chaos Warriors rather than specifically Chosen Knights, because he does have unholy weapons, which are kind of like anti-sacred, right? We are still getting Chosen Warriors, but a mass of Chosen Warriors I'm not as worried of losing as a unit of very expensive Chosen Knights that he can kind of try to like position to counter, if that makes any sense. So, anyways, kind of a short turn, kind of an easy, simple thing. I will say this. We're not getting nearly as many events as I would want for the fact that we are Luck 3, Turmoil 2. It feels a little strange to me. Like, I don't know. IDK. IDKDK. Granted, we're not really getting a lot of... We're not really having the, oh, I took luck and I still get all these bad events issue. And we have gotten good events. I'm not really complaining about how good the events we have been getting are. But we haven't got any of our heroes, any of our luck-dependent heroes, right? And we're really not getting a crazy amount of events every turn. Oh, right. Summoning griffins. That is the other thing we wanted to talk about. We summoned griffins last turn. We're summoning griffins this turn. Primarily, this is just to give us a little bit of additional combat power, because this is one of the only things we really have that we can kind of do something with at the moment. There's not really a lot of glamour things we can do. We don't really have nature or death to do anything with. There's nothing that we can really do with astral pearls. We don't have really any casters to take advantage of earth. Nothing really we can do with water. And we're kind of being very greedy and holding on fire, right? So air was really the only thing that we had to even have an option of kind of trying to make. So, for example, we don't, like, there's not much to do with glamour where we're at with conjuration, right? There's no fucking summons or anything like that to be like, let's take advantage of our glamour gems. Nope, nada. Got nothing, right? Earthwise, we can summon some ogres, and that just doesn't feel great, right? Comparatively, we had a fair number of air gems, and griffins you get a lot of them for the price that you're getting. Obviously, the issue with griffins is that they are undisciplined. They are gonna fly and attack immediately at the start of a fight and get themselves killed. However, they're still very high HP. They still hit decently hard. They have multiple attacks. And they do have extremely high siege strength. Or extremely high, pretty damn high siege strength. For the fact that you're getting 10 of these for 9 gems, you're getting over 50 siege strength for 9 air gems, is pretty fucking good. I think at this current point in time. Of course, the issue being is that they're going to get popped immediately in any big fight, but they can still be very disruptive, especially if you have 20 or 30 of them, which we were pretty close to being able to cast another set of them, which maybe we will do, and adding 50, 100, 150 siege strength to something is going to make it way easier for us to pop a fort, because we don't really have a lot of good siege strength. Dogs, not great at siege strength. These guys, not terrible, but we're not going to have enough of them. These guys, honestly, not bad, but we're probably not going to have, well, I don't know, maybe we'll have enough of them. It's just an easier way to kind of like ensure that we're trying to pop things in like 1 or 2 turns rather than like 3 or 4 turns. Because we don't want, when we finally pull the trigger, we want this to be quick. We don't want this to take a long time. Because if we pull the trigger on like turn 24, 25, we want this to be over turn 30, 35. We don't want this to be over turn 40, 45, right? So we want to make sure that when we go hard and we go relatively fast. Anyways, that's the gist. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time. Spooky. I don't know why I'm spooky. Bye, Otis. Bye-bye, everybody. He didn't like that.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.